And welcome into this edition of Community in Action for the month of August 2026. I'm Jason Parent with Community Action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. On this month's edition of our program, we're going to focus in on what has been done up until now over the last year to bring three counties together into one community action agency here in Northern and Down East Maine. We're going to talk with three leaders, two volunteer leaders, and a team member here at Community Action about the work that has been done to build a brand new board of directors and to begin to lay the foundation for a new 5-year strategic plan that will serve the three counties in the coming years ahead. We're going to get to all of that in just a little bit and our guests in this month's feature interview. But before we do that, we're first going to get to the news and information that you can use again for the month of August 2026. And as it relates to the news and information you can use, we're going to start with this. Yes, it is already time to start thinking about the heating season. The winter time is not that far around the corner, and the Home Energy Assistance Program is now open as of August 3rd for new appointments for the season. Now, cards should have gone out to a number of households. All the households who had previous appointments booked in the last season should have received a postcard in the mail indicating what their suggested appointment date is for this season. If you have not, please give us a call. But we are anticipating a heavy season. We processed over 10,000 applications across the three counties last year. And what the Home Energy Assistance Program does, for those who are not familiar, is it helps qualified homeowners and renters pay for heating costs. Benefits include assistance with fuel costs and emergency fuel delivery. That part of the program doesn't usually start up typically until November. But what you're seeing here on your screen are the household size and household incomes over a 1 month, 3 month, or 12-month period that helps to determine eligibility within the households in our service area. Now, the maximum gross household income is based on the number of people in the household, so that's the cumulative total. For households with more than 10 persons, we certainly can work with you on your eligibility guidelines. But these are the program guidelines for the coming 2026-2027 heating season. If you have not received an appointment card or haven't been a previous customer, we want you to schedule us or call us to schedule an appointment, I should say. The number is 207-764-3721 for all three counties, or you can apply online. There is an online application portal that's available at mainehousing.org, and depending on where you live in one of the three counties, that will be directed to our team to begin processing. But again, the Home Energy Assistance Program 2026 to 2027 season, in fact, begins on August 3rd. Next month, on our September edition, we'll talk more about the heating season and what folks can expect as it relates to emergency fuel and the traditional heat program. That's, again, next month on our program. We also, in these final weeks of summer, we wanted to certainly let people know that the ACAP in Aroostook, that is Community Action in Aroostook in particular, Women, Infant, and Children Program Farmer Days for 2026 have been set. In August, those dates are the 12th and the 19th, and we encourage folks who are available and around town in Presque Isle by our customer service center to pop on by. You do not have to be a WIC customer to purchase on WIC Farmers Days, but you certainly, if you are a WIC customer, you certainly can benefit from using the vouchers that are extended for the farmers market. In addition to the local farmer that will be here, we'll have some taste testing, some easy recipes, and giveaways. Again, the 12th and 19th of August, and then they're back on the 3rd, 9th, and 24th, rounding out the WIC Farmers Days season in September. Our Back to School Bash, the very popular Back to School Bash event, will be held on Friday, August 14th in Presque Isle from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Presque Isle Customer Center. That will include informational tables from local organizations, touch a truck, I should say, resources and giveaways, family-friendly activities, and a walking taco lunch. We encourage one and all to join us on that day, whether you've reserved a backpack or not. You are certainly welcome to join us for all of the fun and excitement of the Back to School Bash 2026 edition. Again, Friday, August 14th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Presque Isle Customer Service Center. Up next for news and information that you can use, we want to let you know about another happening, this time at our Ellsworth Customer Service Center on Avery Lane. This is a business after hours block party that Community Action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties is throwing in collaboration with the Ellsworth School Department. The event will include various stations. We're going to be serving food representative of the 3 counties in the service area, that is Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. And there'll be music and lots of fun. That's from 5 to 7 p.m. on Thursday, August 20th, 2026, on Avery Lane. The road will be blocked off and people will be able to enjoy some time between the 2 facilities, the Ellsworth School Department administrative offices and our Ellsworth Customer Service Center there on Avery Lane. If you're in the area on the 20th of August, please join us between 5 and 7 for a really good time. Our next homebuyer education classes are coming right up. In August, we are offering online courses. We're offering them over a number of days. We typically offer these on weekends, and sometimes that doesn't work for folks if they're working on Saturday or have other commitments. But on August 18th, 19th, and 20th, we'll be offering, splitting the course up into different sections and be offering those online so you can take them from anywhere. The Homeworks Homebuyer Education class offers 8 hours of instructional time taught by industry professionals. We'll have lenders, home inspectors, real estate agents in a non-sales environment. Also, for those who are income eligible, and you don't have to be income eligible, anyone can participate in this class. There is a fee to participate. You don't have to be income eligible, but for those who are income eligible, there are benefits on the backside of participating in this class, such as special low interest loan rates, as well as money going towards up to $5,000 toward the work on the closing of your home, which is very, very helpful. Now, we've got other classes coming up in September and October. On Saturday, September 26th, we'll be in person at the Island Connectivity Hub in Stonington. And then on Friday, October 30th, we return to an online platform for that day on Halloween Eve. Our Triple P primary care parenting classes provide a brief one-on-one parenting support program that helps families build practical strategies for handling everyday challenges. In just a few sessions, parents learn simple, proven strategies to strengthen their relationships with their child and confidently manage behaviors at home. We're encouraging folks that would like to participate in these Triple P sessions. They're about 30 minutes each and span over 4 sessions, and they are scheduled with you at your convenience. We would encourage those folks to you can either do them in person or virtual. We encourage folks to sign up for those. You can sign up for those by calling 764-3721 extension 413 or emailing Tiffany Carmichael at tcarmichael@acap-me.org. This is backed by 40 years of international research. Triple P is one of the world's most studied parenting programs, and we've heard from a lot of people who have participated in past sessions that this is just invaluable, or extremely valuable, I should say, information that is shared. So we encourage one and all to please consider signing up. If you have children ages 0 to 12, this course is for you, or this pathway is for you. We want to remind our families down east with young children, especially moms and children, that we have a couple of Mommy and Me groups going. We have the Ellsworth Mommy and Me group that meets each Friday from 10 to 11. They are meeting every Friday from 10 to 11 at the playground or at the splash pad while connecting with other parents. The location is the Knowlton Park, 160 State Street in Ellsworth. That's the Ellsworth Mommy and Me group. In case of inclement weather, they meet at the Moore Community Center gym. And the Mommy and Me group in Southwest Harbor meets at Harbor House at 329 Main Street in Southwest Harbor between 10 and 11 on Tuesdays. For more information on either of these, please contact Jen Winter at 610-0740 or email jen.winter@acap-me.org. We want to also let you know that early care and education programs have availabilities and openings across Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. Perfect time of year to prepare your preschooler. We also have high quality infant and toddler programs across the 3 counties. You see the list of communities listed there. We encourage you to give us a call at 764-3721 or email us at info@acap-me.org. You can also go to the early childhood education section of the ACAP website. That's acap-me.org. And you can get an online application there. And finally, If we haven't talked about something and you're in need of assistance across the three counties in any particular area, please do give us a call. We offer, of course, services across the three counties in early care and education, energy and housing, and coaching and workforce. In Aroostook County, we offer prevention and wellness services and aging services, specifically in Hancock County. But if you have questions or needs of any of these services or other services, please do reach out to us and we can help you either connect with services in our organization or navigate to other organizations. And that's the news and information that you can use again for this, the month of August 2026. And as I noted at the top of our broadcast this month, we're joined by three guests who are leading community action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties, as well as the work of a new strategic plan for the coming 5-year period for Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. Joining me on this month's edition of Community in Action, the recording, the feature interview, is Gary Sanfason, who serves as the board chair. Marsha Rogers, who's a board leader who has served both Down East and is now working to serve the entire three-county region, and Sue Powers, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Community in Action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. Thank you, all three of you, for joining me for this important conversation that both looks back at the work we've done over the last year and then looks ahead to the coming year and even 5 years beyond that as we talk about the strategic plan. It's great to have all three of you on.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Great to be
Jason.
here.
Well, Gary, why don't we start with you and Marsha and you in particular? It's been just a little over a year. We started this adventure on July 1st of last year when Head Start programs transitioned to the three-county Community Action Agency on July 1st of last year. And then by October 15th, other programs and services had all transitioned over, those that were coming over. From a board leader perspective and a community leader perspective, what do you think, looking back on the body of work that's happened in the last 12 months?
Well, it certainly has been an amazing challenge for the community action employees in all three areas. An incredible amount of work has gone on by all of the staff, the senior staff, and yourself, Jason, as the CEO, in order to make this happen. And it certainly has taken a lot of valuable personal time of the employees involved. It is wonderful to see this happen, and that the collaboration between all three areas and three counties and all of the people involved have made this actually a wonderful process as we move forward to provide services for all areas.
And Marsha Rogers, thank you, Gary. Marsha, as not only a board leader down east and now a board leader across the three counties, but a community leader as well as the mayor of Calais. I know that one of your North Stars, and really the North Star of this entire transformation, was preserving and ensuring that vital programs for your most vulnerable residents were in place. What are your thoughts a year into this work that we've been doing together?
Well, I think, Jason, the biggest, and I guess I was so pleased with the process and how easy it looked from the outside. Your staff, yourself, Jason, and the staff was just incredible to be able to transition a whole entire two counties into and morph them into one agency has been spectacular. And I couldn't be more pleased with Washington and Hancock County and how we were able to make that transition. We didn't lose services, and that was our number one goal.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And Sue Powers, as one of the leaders that's been involved directly in that work, we've had a lot of opportunity to really listen to the community over the last, and when I talk about the community, the three counties, people in the three counties, we brought together leaders like Gary and Marsha and others, over 70 of them all together in virtual and in-person formats in November of 2025 in Millinocket to sort of hear and listen. And further listening sessions have happened with employees and with community members as we look forward to a new name and brand that will launch on the first day of fall. What has the last year been like in terms of that transformational work from your perspective?
It's been an incredible journey. I think that some of the pieces that have most stood out to me is the understanding that we're working across 3 counties and that all counties have uniqueness and have individual cultures and ways of working and expectations, and honoring those, being able to honor those differences and those uniquenesses across the counties. And also at the same time, understanding that there are so many similarities. And as we worked through this process, we were able to really honor and I think cherish is the word, the team that came from Washington and Hancock counties and what they brought to the whole. So as Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock teams came together, we really were able to find the uniquenesses in each of those teams and build upon those strengths. And that has been a very rewarding process as a leader in the organization, to be able to honor that.
It certainly has. And Gary Sanfason is board chair in this sort of pivotal moment in the evolution of community action, which goes back obviously, 6 decades, more than 6 decades in the United States, and certainly here in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties. You've had the opportunity to lead the organization from the board level perspective through this transformation to serving the largest county east of the Mississippi on the Aroostook side to now serving 35% of the state's landmass in a large geographic area. And I know that in addition to that guiding North Star of ensuring services were preserved for folks, bringing people to the table with a spirit of equity and creating a governance model and a team model in the organization, a lot of that work led by Sue Powers, was really important to you as a board leader to make sure that what this looked like in the months that we were developing and building and continue to develop and build really was an organization that reflected the people and the communities that we serve, correct?
That is correct. And the board was very, very willing and very optimistic about all of the information that was presented during the many meetings talking about all of the developments. And it's really been great to have senior staff members and regular staff meetings, members of the Community Action Program come to meetings and be very forward-thinking, very pleased, and to see the smiles on their faces when they talked about all of the activities that were ongoing, to see the hope that was in their eyes, to hear it in their voices, and to hear that level of passion was certainly inspiring from the board. And the board had no reservations about what they were hearing and what they were seeing happen. It was really wonderful to work with the board.
And Marcia Rogers, what we're seeing on the screen now is both the geographic reach and where we're located across the 3 counties, as well as most of our new board of directors, which met for the first time on the 28th of May. And then this photo taken on the 25th of June when you and a number of others, most of the others, were gathered there in Sherman, which is about the epicenter geographically when you look at travel time from Presque Isle, Ellsworth, Machias, and Calais. What were your thoughts on that day and in these last few months as it's really gelled and people have come together to the table? You were part of the nominating committee that helped to bring this group of people together and part of the overall effort to make sure that the transition and the transformation happened smoothly. What were your thoughts on the day that we're seeing here on the screen on the 25th of June when it all seemed to come together?
Well, I have probably been about 50 years in public service, and during that day, in that meeting, I was just so impressed with how everyone's opinions, we were all appreciated and respected. Everyone was valued. Opinions were written down. The day was amazing, and with that large group in one room, with the diversity that we had, it was just such an eye-opener to see how well we could all get together and come up with such a great start with our strategic plan and vision and mission statements. And I was just overwhelmed and pleased and very, very impressed with how that day went.
Now, you, Marcia, and Sue Power is going to transition over to you. Sue now have been working on a new strategic plan for the three counties that will run through over the next 5-year period. We've sort of been operating on an interim one that folks came together, leaders in the organization and volunteer leaders like you and Gary came together to ensure that this past year that we've just experienced was one of bridge building, network building, and community connections. But you've also been working on mission and vision, which will launch later this fall, as well as the strategic plan. But Sue, talk about the underpinnings of what went into and what is going into the work of a strategic plan for the next 5 years for the three counties, and why it's really a very almost a precise science as well as an intricate art.
Sure, Jason. It's been quite an enlightening process, and Marcia has been right there since we started this back this early winter. And what we did is we took the most recent community assessment that was done in partnership with Community Action and the public health networks, and took the data that came from that community assessment in 2025 and really looked across the three counties and found the similarities and found the differences. And as I said earlier, we really wanted to honor those differences, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't lose the differences. But what we found is that while there were a few differences, there are more similarities than anything else. And really being able to look at what those similarities are and focusing in on those areas. Some, as you can see here, the crosswalks of the three community needs assessments showed some areas in all three counties and some in Aroostook, Washington, Aroostook, Hancock, and Washington, Hancock. And what we did is we really focused in on what those similarities were, what were the more key points and areas with the most need, and built a draft strategic plan around those areas. This is probably this work and the work around vision and mission, which we just pretty much tied up last week, has been one of the most enriching processes for me as a leader in the organization, because we really came together with board members and team members from across the agency, across the counties, and the engagement, the investment of people was amazing. Sometimes you go into a process like this as a leader and you think, oh, I'm going to have to really pull the information out. There was no pulling information out. The information flowed. And Marcia, you probably can talk to that, but that was such a enriching experience for me.
Marcia, why don't you just go? That seems like a natural toss over to you.
Well, I guess the impressive thing was, first of all, Sue is a great facilitator, so she kept us going and on track. But it was very enlightening to have the ability to say, okay, I disagree with this, or I might feel differently about this, or everyone had a different thought, and we were so able and felt relaxed in sharing what those thoughts were, and then going from there and narrowing it down. And we challenged each other over and over and over again. And that's, to me, why it became so easy to come up with such a great product, because we were able to go in and challenge and say, nope, we got to start again. We don't like this, and go on with that. And Sue kept us going with that. And we, I thought we did a pretty good job with it.
And Sue, in terms of maybe a little bit of a preview, tell us what the process is moving forward in terms of bringing the strategic plan to fruition and to a point where we're ready to launch it publicly, and what happens internally between now and then, and maybe a little bit of a preview of coming attractions, if you will.
Okay. So the committee work was pretty much done before the June 25th board work session. And at that work session, we brought forward a draft of what we thought a strategic plan might look like. And during that session, board members really contributed a lot of thoughts and ideas, gave us more to think about. And also worked on vision and mission, which really connects the strategic plan, all together. The rest of that committee work rolled out from there, and we're now in a place where in August we will present drafts to the board of all three documents. And then the strategic plan, the next step for that is once it comes out of with board approval for the actual domain areas that we'll be working in, we will take that to our management team. And the management team, who really are the people with their teams who do the direct service work, will come up with the objectives and the goals for us to work on over the next year, building into the next 5. So that process will happen in September, towards the end of September. And then for the December board meeting, we will have a final product to present to the board and say, this is what we would like to bring forward as our strategic plan for 2027. And then we will build on that for the next 5 years.
Wonderful. So a process to come. Gary Santhison is the board chair. Again, if you think about the last year and you look ahead to the next 6 months, where we're going to have a new 5-year strategic plan that covers 35% of the state's landmass, a brand new name for the organization, which hasn't happened, at least in Aroostook County, since 1972. Strategic objectives, things like that. And really continue to bring together the people. And you look at an organization and a movement in community action that across the 3 counties saw people through a pandemic. In Aroostook County, saw the transformation of a community and the support of a community through the loss of a military institution in Loring Air Force Base, and in Washington County through the many changes and challenges, and as well as Hancock County with the volatility of the natural-based economy down there, and in terms of the fishing and blueberry harvesting and wreath making and all of those things, and how the community action movement in those counties has weathered those storms and has helped the community, most importantly, weather those storms. And think about this past 12 months and the 6 months to come. It really is quite breathtaking in terms of the breadth and scope of work that has been done. What do you think about this period of time, both the last 12 months and the coming 6 months and beyond that, in terms of serving the community?
Well, I certainly think the changes are going to help better serve the residents of all 3 counties. I'm really optimistic, and as Sue mentioned earlier, excited to see where we're going and what the future is going to bring for this very large area, and for everyone that's involved and all the community members. So I'm really optimistic, very hopeful, and very thankful at all the work that's been done by everyone, including Marcia and everyone in the other counties. It's been really nice to get to know people who we otherwise wouldn't have had much contact with, and to learn more about each county so that we can better serve each other. I'm really optimistic, and I'm hopeful for great things to come.
And Marcia, that's the crystal ball question goes to you now, in terms of what are you looking forward to as we continue this adventure together?
I'm looking forward to continuing our services, to meeting more board members and becoming a a board member that can contribute and learn as I go and help my community and the communities around me. I just think our opportunities now are endless, and I'm very, very excited to begin them.
And Sue Powers, I'm going to leave you the last word in terms of your crystal ball question and where do you see things going and what are your thoughts?
So I I love the word hopeful, Gary. I am hopeful at where these next years are going to take us and take this region. I think that while we worked very closely with the board to build a bridge strategic plan that we've been working in the last year, that this launch in December will be a fresh start. And it'll be a fresh start for all three counties, working in us in the similarities and really supporting each other across quite a vast region, actually. As Jason said, 37% of the state's landmass. That's huge. And the really just learning from each other and having that fresh strategic plan to guide the work and guide our processes as we move forward is going to be wonderful.
Great. Well, Sue Powers, Gary Sanfason, and Marcia Rogers, thank you so much for being my guests on this month's edition of Community in Action. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to ask you to hold on for just a second. As I mentioned in our next month's broadcast, we're going to talk about the upcoming energy season and particularly what energy assistance opportunities are available for folks out there with the cost of living and certainly the cost of heating oil. Many folks are concerned about that. So we're going to be focusing our discussion next month in September on that topic with folks from our own energy team and from our partners at United Ways here in Aroostook County and in Eastern Maine. That's that conversation next month. But before we leave you, we always bring you our highlight snapshot for this month. And fittingly, looking ahead to next month's broadcast, our highlight snapshot this month is one of our own energy assistance team members, Derek Fortin, who is working in the Aroostook County office in Presque Isle, in the customer service center in the Presque Isle location, where he and his colleagues across Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties, wherever they're located, are preparing and mailing postcards to last year's Heating Energy Assistance Program applicants that are automatically enrolled in programs for this year. Each of the postcards provides a date and time of the pre-scheduled appointment. And if that appointment time doesn't work for you, you can certainly give us a call and let us know. But the Energy Assistance Program officially opens August 3rd and will continue to run and all the way through May of next year. And we look forward to not only seeing our returning customers, but to greeting new customers with that are in need of assistance in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties with fuel assistance. Again, that's a preview of next month's edition of Community in Action, where we'll talk about energy assistance programs and efforts to help support folks across the three counties raising additional funds in that regard. That's on next month's edition, but for now, on behalf of all of us at Community Action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties, I'm Jason Parent, wishing you all a great month of August. We'll see you in September.
Well,